All right, Timberwolves fans. So I was right. I was. Just plain and simple. I said we needed to blow out a team, and then we get to play the CBA's Long Lions. I'm not 100% sure. We're just going to refer to them as the Lions. It's what I talked about on Sunday's show, which I referred to as Mondays. My bad. My bad. But, anyways, I said we need to blow out a team. I said I wanted to see the bench players play. I don't want to see any of the starters in. Starters didn't play at all. Yeah, our starting lineup was Leonard Miller, Jean Barringer, Bones Highland, Terrence Shannon Jr., and Rob Dillingham. They were pretty capable. Now, the big asterisk in that starting lineup is Bones Highland. He only played 16 minutes, shot 0 for 5, including 0 for 4 from 3, making 0 points on the game. Not good stuff for a guy who's trying to get actual minutes and a guy who I think could have actual minutes this year. That's not an ideal situation, I would say. Um, the rest of the team looked pretty good. We'll get to some of the guys you can see there in a minute. Outside of them, not a ton of bright spots. Jules Bernard has been a bright spot, but he's probably going to be a two-way guy into the bench with Rocco if things go to how I'm thinking. Um, that's kind of it. We blew him out 134 to 74. That's crazy. That is a 60-point game. I should have gone. I didn't go to the game. Tickets were like $5 at most. I should have just gone to the game at the time of my life, watching us blow out Victor Oladipo and Frank Kaminsky. That's the other thing we'll talk about. Frank Kaminsky and Victor Oladipo, they gotta just hang it up. They don't have it anymore. I guess maybe they're good over there in China, but they don't have it like that anymore. I mean, shoot, George King off the bench had just as many points as Victor Oladipo. Oh no, Oladipo had 14. That's my bad. Um, I was looking at Tim Frazier. They kind of just have a who's over there. Maybe they're on to something. But no, let's get into our guys and the things I saw. Let's start with the guy we've been trading all off season in every trade. Leonard Miller's been involved because that $2.2 million is worth trading. It is. It's plain and simple. It is an easy contract to move. It fills in gaps when we're looking at trading for better guys. It's great to finally see him play. He played 23 minutes, 6 for 8, 1 for 3, dropped a double actually, 11 rebounds, 15 points. Now, is this him finally arriving, or is this playing him so that a team is willing to trade a second for him or cash or whatever when it comes time if we make a move at the trade deadline or something? That's more so what I'm leaning towards. I don't think he's going to be someone that we're going to look to re-sign, especially after this season. Maybe he can go to the Celtics with every other former Timberwolf. They've got Wendell Moore Jr., they have Josh Minot, and they have Luka Garza now. Do you want another one? You can have him. He's all yours. Just give us a second rounder in cash. I'll take it. No, I'm really happy for the guy, though. He was called the steal of the draft back when we drafted him. Never really saw much playing time ever so far. A lot of just garbage time and hasn't been super healthy. So it's really nice to see what a guy like that can actually do when given the opportunity just to play basically a full game at 23 minutes. Not basically in full game, but that's pretty average minutes for a role type player, let's say. In my opinion, 15 points, shooting 6 for 8 is incredible too. I can't complain about that one bit. I won't complain about that, in fact. Um, yeah, I really just don't know how we end up keeping Leonard Miller, either past the season or the deadline. So really hope that this was a chance for him to show out, and maybe he'll have playing the couple more here, and we can see what he's actually worth. Let's move on to our next guy, who is Rob Dillingham. Oh man, how I was smiling watching him play tonight. By the way, it's super fun to watch these games. Yeah, thanks NBA. You make it really easy to find these. Um, Rob Dillingham. This is the potential we've been talking about. Almost a double double. Here's his stat line tonight: 10 for 14, 4 for 4 from 3, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 9 assists, and 27 points. This is the Rob that we were promised. This is the Rob we thought we were getting out of Kentucky. We knew he wasn't going to arrive right away, but this is what we need to see for this year. I understand we played a very bad basketball team in terms of NBA competition, but with 28 minutes, he made his shots. We've had him shooting a ton this preseason. Why not? Put him up. Doesn't matter. Um, this is the consistency we need to see. Once you can kind of start to snowball these into like double digit points and, 6 to 9 assists a game, he can start to get more consistent playing time, and that's exactly what we need from him. He's going to be the backup point guard. In one way or another, he will be. We got to have him ready. And eventually, he's going to take over that starting role. He has to. He's an 8th overall pick. He's going to slide in nicely timeline wise with the rest of our team. I'm really excited to see what he can become. And, if the case is that they're wanting to rather trade him, which I hate to say, this is a great reason why a team should trade for him. If one of these teams who doesn't have a point guard and they're young and they want a young point guard, Rob Dillingham clearly has the potential that a team needs if they're going to make a move like that. I love it. I love everything about this game. This is exactly what I was talking about on Sunday that we needed to come out and do. And it was executed. It was actually executed for once that the Timberwolves went out and took care of business. I don't think anyone's lost to this Lions team yet. Let's just do a little box score check here because I'm curious how they've played. Their closest game against San Antonio, which says a lot about San Antonio. It was 88-119. After that, they got blown out 95-142. And obviously, we just took care of business as well. Not a great team by any means, but it's great for all these NBA teams to come in, kind of take care of business. Let's these guys who are on this Lions team come and play here. Justin Holiday, welcome back. Deontay Burton, George King, Frank Kaminsky, Tim Frazier, Victor Oladipo. Like, that's what we need to see. We need to see those guys still have it, or, maybe they'll get an exhibition 10 or something like that. But Rob Dillingham, I'm really happy to see this type of game from you against a bad team. If he had come out and laid something like Bones Highland did, I'd be a little more concerned. Bones Highland should be concerned because that's an unacceptable game against a bad team. I understand having a bad night, but shooting 0 for 5, dude, you got to get one of those to fall, or at least get yourself to the line. He didn't shoot a single free throw either. I just think it's a weird game. It is obviously a weird game when you're going to play a team that you're never going to see again. You can't really predict it, but guess what? You still have to make shots because they play basketball too professionally. Let's get in to my biggest question coming out of this preseason so far. We know that Rocco is on a two-way. Those two-ways can be converted into full contracts. But then we also have Johnny Juzang, who is not on a guaranteed deal by any means. It is not guaranteed. He is earning his pretty much day by day. Those two are going to be battling for minutes. I understand they're not the same position type. We kind of have a lot of depth at both those positions. So who's going to be getting those type of minutes? Of just the garbage minutes, the end of the bench minutes. Because they both played about the same amount of time. Rocco Zakarski, 26 minutes, 6 or 7 from the field. 16 points, 3 rebounds. Not like big rebounder guy, but offensively, he's a dog. He's just good. Johnny Juzang, 20 minutes, 6 for 11, 3 for 6 from 3. I like that. Rocco didn't shoot a 3. I don't think that's his type of game. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 17 points. Nearly identical types of lines. In the grand scheme of things, they're both going to be offensive, probably not great defensive pieces, but they're going to be stealing minutes from each other. So I think it might be rotational. Maybe Johnny goes down to the G League on a two-way if we see something else that we like in one of these other guys. But that's where this is the big role guy. This is the one who I think is going to be the next kind of Luka Garza on the team. He's there in late minutes, late end of the games. We're looking to throw someone in. Who is that going to be? It's going to be one of these two. My heart leans towards Rocco, but my brain leans towards Johnny Juzang because he's a veteran. But we spent a draft pick on Rocco, whereas Johnny Juzang's not on a guaranteed deal. My guess is they're going to stick with Juzang as the end of the bench guy. Rocco is going to do this first season as a two-way We'll probably convert him if he has a good year, as much as you can say that is when you're going between Iowa and Minnesota. Coming from Canada, or not Canada, he's not Canadian, he's Australian. Coming from Australia, that's going to be a hard transition for him. So I'm going to be curious to see how he does in that side of things. But I'm really excited to see what this team does. The bench as a whole, didn't talk about him, but Terrence Young Jr. had a great game as well. 15 points, 5 for 8, 4 for 6 from 3. Can't complain. Can't complain about anything on this. This is exactly the game I asked for, and now they went and did it. Looking ahead, we only have 2 preseason games left. 2, right? Yeah, we have 2. So on Thursday, we're going to play the Bulls. So we'll break that down on Wednesday. And then we play Philadelphia on Friday. So we'll break that down probably on Thursday's show. And then talk about it on Friday, obviously. The Saturday episode. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Preseason's coming to an end. We're finally going to get into real games. I'm excited to talk about real games instead of preseason basketball. So until the next episode, see you guys then. Take care.